This is the Relevant Podcast.
It's episode 1103. Do we do 13? Episode 13s? We don't skip them like hotel floors?
No, we're all in. We're all in.
All in. All right, episode 1113. Here we go. It's the Relevant Podcast. Here in Orlando, I'm your host, Cameron Strang, and joining me from Loverland, Virginia, huge advocate for the 13s, Jesse Carey.
Hello, hello.
From Nashville, Tennessee, artist, producer, mogul, sitting in for Derek. It's our managing editor, downtown Emily Brown.
Hey, y'all.
It rolls off the tongue. I can't stop myself. It's a car that
none of the things you said about me are true, but I can pretend like they are.
They can be aspirational. And from LA, he's back. It's Marty.
What's up, guys? I don't like that one either.
You got to call your circle.
What's up, guys? I don't know. I was too excited.
Something like that.
Too ramped up.
What do you say when you go out, like at a concert? Like, I get it, the music's playing, you probably jump right into a song. But if you're at a speaking gig or something and you're brought out, what's the first words out of your mouth to greet the audience?
The last two gigs we did, actually, we couldn't come out. There was no screens. I don't know why. So we had to come out. And that's always awkward. So I just walk on stage like I'm a comedian. And everyone's like, yeah, when you're walking on. And everyone comes down. You're like, what's up? Hi, guys. We're Social Club. That's why you paid to be here. And then we just go into the show in like a funny way. Like I'll be like, let's do a sound check. And then Fern will beatbox. And then it goes right into the little show. But I'm usually like, what's up? Hey, everyone. Just owning that awkward, hey, I don't, I'm not really a part of this world, but I'm here.
Yeah, you can do that with us. Hey, okay, it's November. It's the first show of November right now. Mm-hmm. We're in the best time of the year, in my opinion. I'm not talking about the holidays. I'm not talking about the weather. Oh, wow. I'm talking about there is stuff to watch every night that's sports related. Ooh. There's football.
There is.
Yay.
I don't care about baseball. I know the World Series is happening. Who cares? Basketball is finally back. Thank you, Jesus. So this is the happiest time of the year for me. You guys excited? I know, Emily, I know you are.
I'm just like trying to contain my excitement. It's so hard.
I'm thrilled. I love watching sports every night. And I got to be honest.
And participating in your own way.
I do. And that brings me to something I need to discuss because you guys may hear the tone of my voice right now. It's a little bittersweet. I love doing the pod. I do. But I want to let you know that I turned down a significant opportunity to be on the show today. I did not want to reschedule last minute. But an opportunity presented itself. At the local elementary school my children attend, it is Booster-thon. And every day there's events to raise money. I don't even know where. I got to be honest, I have friends that work on the PTA. They don't even know where the money's going. But it doesn't matter. They're out there and they're raising it for something. Okay? It seems to be
for the children.
The school I think it's actually for the teachers. I really do. I think it's like a luncheon.
They need that.
But anyway, the school seems to be doing just fine. Either way, I was dropping them off, and the security guard at the school, whom I know personally, he lives down the street from me, he informed me that this afternoon at 1:15, it's 1:05 right now, there was an opening to dress up in the seagull costume and dance out in the street to try to get people to drive in and come donate to the Booster-thon. Now, this seagull costume has been the talk of the neighborhood. I think the schools rented it for a significant portion of money, and I think they have to recoup it with Booster-thon money. I'm pretty sure most of the Booster-thon is going for the seagull costume rental. Now, it has been booked up all week. Everybody in the neighborhood wants to be the seagull. I got the personal invite. I got the security guard saying, hey, Jesse, listen, man, I know you've been eyeing the seagull. He's open from 1:15 to 2:15 today. And I turned that opportunity down to be on the show today. So I just want everyone to feel privileged.
The weirdest part of this whole thing is the mascot of your kid's school is the Buccaneers. So what's up with the
it's
seagull?
All they could get. It's all that they could get.
Oh, yeah. It's all that it's all the Party City had available.
I just look at this text message I just got from my wife.
She's going to be the seagull.
Wow.
No way.
I just got a text right now.
Cutthroat.
She's stealing your dreams.
Cutthroat.
Show's over.
Jesse's the holiday armadillo.
That's a wrap,
for
guys.
the school.
Listen. This was a big opportunity. It was, as you can see, I just got a phone call and a text. They found somebody, and it's my wife Dana. She's going to be the seagull.
Does it embarrass your kids?
Oh, well,
they don't know
got a
that
mask.
mom's
That's
in
the
the
thing.
seagull.
Because that's the thing. You don't, the seagull, you're not allowed to talk or take the head off. You just got to dance around. Like, it's great. You can lose your identity for just an hour. No one knows who's in there, but you get to brag.
I wonder
later.
if she goes up. I wonder if she sees your kids and she goes up and gives them special attention or messes with them, whatever. And they come home in tears. Mommy, the man in the seagull outfit today hugged me. It was very
I was going to mess with
uncomfortable.
all the kids and the teachers, and maybe just make a run for it, just sprint into the neighborhood, and like the seagull's
just
gone.
gonna,
The seagull's gone.
Haunt
They
everyone.
fly away. That's the whole point.
Now-
Seagulls go where they want to go.
Now, listen, I did get another significant opportunity in the neighborhood that, so this bittersweet. One of my dear friends has taken over as the editor of the neighborhood newsletter. Now, this was a whole thing. There was a whole neighborhood council meeting. It was very...
Oh, stop it.
No, it was serious. And there was a vote.
Is it?
Yes.
Why do y'all have a newsletter? Isn't it just called, what is it, Next Door or whatever?
No.
app
This is a
where
physical. This is a physical one.
Oh, wow.
And it goes in everybody's mailboxes.
You live in like a magical suburban
What
It's
neighborhood.
called my neighborhood. Cameron's been in my neighborhood. It's a very old neighborhood. It's called Thorogood. And anyway, the
have to edit
neighborhood,
that out.
and my kids go to Thorogood Elementary.
They are thoroughly good.
That's the name of the
And
newsletter.
that-
The Thoroughly Good. How did you know?
But I know, but you're giving out all your personal information. Like, there's not crazy people out
It
there.
doesn't matter. They can't find me. There's thousands of houses
You're
in
like
this
the
neighborhood.
elementary, and the teacher's name is
I will find
Mrs.
you.
Listen.
Cameron.
Look, the Thoroughly Good is a newsletter that's been going around the neighborhood since the 70s, and it's a printed newsletter. My good friend just took over as the new editor of the Thoroughly Good. Knowing
prestigious.
my esteemed background in journalism, I volunteered my services, and I got my first writing assignment.
Very cool. What is it on?
There's an old house in the neighborhood called the Thoroughgood House, and they do haunted tours this time of year. Someone's going to do the haunted tours and doing 500 words on
VIP
it.
tour.
I'm pushing for the cover.
VIP tour.
I already pitched. I already said, listen, they said, make sure you talk to the because of reenactors and stuff, because the house from the 1700s. Very we're not far from Colonial Williamsburg, same kind of vibe, people churning butter, things like that. They're like, make sure you talk to the reenactors,
Haunting.
get the whole story. I said, no, that's not my angle. I'm going to go and interview the ghosts.
Ooh.
I'm going to do fake interviews with ghosts, and we're going to put it in the newsletter.
You're going to get fired after
That's pretty awesome.
No,
one
I said that's
column.
the angle. It's only going to be
All in.
interviews with ghosts.
I love it.
So even though I'm not the seagull, I did get a big opportunity.
You realize your neighborhood is full of normal people who are not in on your sense of humor. You know what I mean? Like,
no, I'm aware. It doesn't matter.
They're reading it for information.
There's a new leadership in town.
Yeah, I get you. I
And
hear you.
I'm shooting my shot here.
Try to branch out a
I
little
got
bit.
lots of ideas.
That's
for the
great.
newsletter.
Well, we have a great show in store for you today. Coming up later, we talk to pastor, author Chad Veach, longtime friend of the show. We talk about prayer. You don't want to miss that. We also, at the end of the show, have a very special game called Sign of the Times, where Marty and Jesse will be going head to head. Emily, will you give us your word that you'll do a better job keeping score today than last time you kept score?
Let me clarify
Marty had
something.
to
And I
correct
don't
you.
do numbers. I'm not a number guy.
We've done so many shows where I've done my math has been quite fine. Okay,
The only time you mess up, the one time,
the one
Marty
time.
catches you. Marty was like, actually, that was the wrong score. I didn't score. You gave me a point I didn't deserve.
And you know
He's
what?
very
I
honest.
meant to do it, but I wanted to go back and listen because no offense, Marty. I think I was right.
I don't think
So,
I don't think I got anything, but
I don't know. I can't confirm, but in my
No, you
heart, I
gave
felt
him a
like I was
point
right.
he
That's what
didn't
it
get.
was.
Then he very honestly said, Jesse's the only one who got a point that round. Anyway. All right. Well, that's coming up later. We have a whole, like the Emmys and the fresh.
With HelloFresh, you get farm fresh, pre-portioned ingredients and seasonal recipes delivered right to your doorstep. And right now, they have a great deal for Relevant Podcast listeners. Skip trips to the grocery store and count on HelloFresh to make home cooking easy, fun, and affordable. That's why it's America's #1 meal kit. Even though the fall can feel jam-packed, HelloFresh makes whipping up a home-cooked dinner actually doable with quick and easy options, including their 15-minute meals. It's less time than it takes to go get delivery, y'all. Also, you can turn to HelloFresh Market for yummy add-ons and enjoy the season's limited-time fall flavors lineup. Feast on desserts like apple cider cake with caramel sauce, or please a crowd with appetizers like the barbecue pulled pork nachos. Don't forget the mini pumpkin cheesecake. I've been using HelloFresh for years. I've been a subscriber. I love it. It's a great way to create delicious meals at home. And right now, Relevant listeners can get 50% off plus free shipping. Go to HelloFresh.com/50relevant, 50relevant, and use code 50relevant for 50% off plus free shipping. Again, go to HelloFresh.com/50relevant and use code 50relevant for 50% off plus free shipping.
Okay, it's time for
Slices.
What do you have, Jesse?
All right. Well, a lot of people are looking for places to live, right? The housing market's all over the place. Emily, I know recently you brought a piece of news about how younger generation is moving to more rural areas outside of urban ones. I might soon be run out of my neighborhood Thorogood after I start getting a little weird in the newsletter.
Exposing the ghosts.
Yeah.
You anger the ghosts.
My exposés in the Thoroughly Good newsletter. By the way, I did pitch some investigative pieces, and they're not interested. They're more, it's like,
What
Wednesday.
are they? What were they? What's the smell by that ditch on Palm Avenue? That type of stuff?
Maybe. A lot of
Jesse Carey investigation.
You know what? There's a lot.
What's that sludge?
There's a lot of weird smells in the neighborhood, and it was a whole series. Okay?
That's amazing.
That's your column name. What's that smell? And each week you do a different.
What's that smell?
You tackle a different smell.
Each issue, a new street and a new smell. Surprisingly, it was a hard pass. No, a couple of people have pitched to me. They're like, "Hey, we should have a we have a neighborhood podcast." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm listening. I'm listening. Ears, hey, wide open."
Who's not picking up the dog poop? I get these conversations. I know it's going to go. It's all HOA stuff.
There's a real estate agent, and I'm going to call him out. Sorry, it's happening right now. I'm sure he's not listening. He's an older guy, and his license plate is Mr. Thorogood.
Oh, wow.
And he goes around the neighborhood a couple of times a year and drops off like candy in the mailboxes to hustle up. He has a black Corvette, and he speeds through the neighborhood.
Corvette.
Okay. Yeah, a black one, and it says Mr. Thorogood on it. I'm gonna do a piece on him.
Character study, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Why does he feel like he can blast through the neighborhood?
Witness protection program. You're gonna find you're gonna uncover a whole thing that you shouldn't. I'm just gonna warn you, Jesse. It's gonna turn out scary. Black Corvette, license plate.
Journalism. All right. So in case I get run out, or anyone out there is looking for a creative housing solution, there's a new business called Villavai Residence, and they have a very interesting business model where you can purchase a condo. They start at about $100,000 and go up to about $250,000. Now, the interesting thing about this condo is the condo is located on a cruise ship, and that cruise ship will circle the globe for 3.5 years at a time, going to hundreds of ports in cities and locales around the world. And the vision for this is basically for people that just want a different kind of lifestyle. To our point, last episode, these days a lot of people can work from anywhere. Like these cruise ships, these ones are residential cruise ships that you like I said, you buy the cabin on. They have work areas, they have office areas. Basically it's a whole community at the high seas. Now, the other thing, too, is like you can sublease it. You can Airbnb your cabin. It's a whole new business model. Now, I don't think I'm cut out for life at sea, personally. But
I would love this.
Cameron, you told me a while ago that you met some salty dogs while on a cruise one time who somehow rigged the system by playing poker every night and getting like weird casino comps that they translated into comps for their room, and they're basically living this life for free.
Wow. Yeah, if you gamble enough on the casinos, they'll comp your room, and then they'll comp your cruises, and then you get in this tier that the cruise ship knows that if you're on a cruise, you'll spend money. Like you'll spend money in the casino and stuff like that, which is very profitable for them.
Yeah.
So basically you're now at this tier where if they have any empty rooms, instead of that room going empty, they'd rather give the room to somebody who will gamble and stuff. So these people like will get an email every week going, hey, you want to go to the Greek islands? Do you want to go to Alaska? Do you want to go to the Caribbean? And they just cruise for free nonstop.
True story. My
gamble.
grandmother got this. I'm not even joking with you guys. My grandmother got this. She got the Rain Man suite. I'm not even joking with you. Dead serious. She went to Thailand because she would gamble and she would win.
It's crazy.
She would actually win, but she went to Thailand. She went to all these different places because she got comped. Always got breakfast. Like when we go to those places, they would take care. Wow. She was one of those people. The dimes. She'd put nickels in machines
And you get the most money for doing slots, they told me, because they have, you get certain tiers of like different games are more profitable for the casino. So they reward the ones that are most. But they figured out, these people are they've done it so many times. They figured out that if you put about $100, $200 into the slot machines, you'll inevitably win 500 or 1,000. And you get to keep your winnings. And so like they win on the slot machines, stop gambling, and then get a free cruise. They were trying to talk me into it. They're trying to lure me in
like
to their world.
And it was working.
It's a good fallback. It's a good fallback.
See, okay, this cruise life that you're talking about, Jesse, it feels good in theory, but because it's like, you can like work remote and like still travel and stuff. And I'll be honest, I hate to tell you this, Cameron, if I was on a cruise ship, I would not be working. Yeah. I would do the absolute bare minimum amount of work that I had to like keep my job, I guess.
I'm of a drink in hand.
Yeah, I'm having a Mai Tai right next to me while I'm working. Like we're not.
No issue with it.
We're relaxing.
Jesse, you said you wouldn't like this. Here's where I will counter that you would like this. The best years of your life were in a college dorm. This is 3.5 years of a college dorm.
But the thing is about a college dorm, you're in there with other college students. I don't know if the type of people who've dedicated their lives to living on a cruise ship. I don't know. It might be awesome, actually.
They're
like the more I think about it.
Jess is going to do the rock climbing wall at 9 a.m. in the morning just to start his workout. I love it. I love that idea.
Start his day.
Start the workout.
No, that is so true, Jesse, because like you're stuck with people for 3.5 years on a boat. Like,
it's a floating dorm. This is awesome. I love it.
It's either going to be dorm party every night or Lord of the Flies like a month in. Or people are we were talking literal mutiny at about a month in.
Get the
think about it, because the Lord of the Flies thing is like, what's the consequence, right? I own this room. You cannot kick me off this boat. Yeah. I will have a fire in my room. I don't care. That kind of thing. Yeah, that's great. I think it's awesome. All right, what do you have, Barney?
Yeah, okay. So I have this is an unusual story out of Georgia. A car was speeding. It was going 90 miles per hour in a 55 mile per hour zone. So that's obviously terrible. So when he got the fine on the ticket, to his disbelief, and I have a picture of the ticket actually, the payment for speeding was $1.4 million. Freaked him out. I love that. So he instantly called the court and he was like, this got to be a problem. And they told him on the phone, they said it might be a typo, but either way, because you sped up, you actually have to go to court, and the judge will, obviously he's not going to pay the one. It's just a number that they put there, they said. But basically he has to physically go into court and handle it. And he doesn't have to pay $1 million. I like how they said in the article, by the way, $1 million quid. I'm like, dude, this is America. It's Georgia. What are we doing quid for? But anyway, long story short,
probably a British website.
Yeah, it's the Sun. Is that the one you gave me, Emily? The Sun. I'm reading the Sun over
here.
It's
a British
talking
website.
about quids, and it's like the little like F that has a bottom to it. It's like an E upside backwards. Anyway, there's so many serial speeders. It's an intimidation tactic. That's really what it is. But it's just a placeholder before you actually physically see a judge. But this guy he flipped out, and he's like freaking out. But long story short, it was just, it was just
I guarantee you he'll never speed again, though.
Yeah, he'll never speed again. And it says in the article, they're going through unusual lengths to make sure people understand the severity of these tickets. Because, you're going 90 in a 55 zone. They're just trying to do whatever they can to scare you.
But how is that legal? That's like scared straight.
It's
for,
up to.
for a speeding ticket.
That's the crazy part. It's up to $1.4 million or $1.2 million. So it's up to the judge. They physically have to go now in Georgia, in the city. You physically have to go and see the judge, and the judge goes and gives you it from you plead your case, and that's what it is. You can't do ticket clinic or whatever. You have to physically see the judge.
This is a power trip.
Is it Valdosta? There's a speed trap in Valdosta going from Florida up to Atlanta.
Oh yeah, I know about that one.
Every time.
That's not this,
Every
but
time.
this is in Savannah, Georgia. But yeah, it's
see
bad
this
spot.
is what's terrible. I got a ticket coming back from Virginia. I got a ticket in South Carolina, and you had to pay it, and you can just go online and pay it, no problem. But if they did this, that you have to see a judge, or else you can't pay 1.4 million online. So you got to go back up to South Carolina, or in this case Georgia, to go fight it. That's crazy.
Last night I went on you can go on the court clerk's website right now, and you can see any ticket that anybody has ever got. It's all public information. And my wife was looking at her. She had like one ticket. She went to me. I had 8 tickets over like the last 5 years, and that's only in one county. So I think a lot of them are like parking tickets. Like I park in the valet and I'm like, hey, just tow it. And they never tow it. They just give me it's cheaper instead of paying the valet $30, it's $49 for a ticket, and I get right in front of the restaurant. So I'm pretty sure they're that ticket, but like I figured it out. I'm like, listen, just tow it. And they'll never tow it because it's in an awkward location. For $10 more, I don't have to tip anybody. I just pull the ticket and that's it. And I get front row seating in front of Elisabetta's.
Yeah.
Best Italian restaurant.
All right, Emily, do you have a quick one? We're running out of time.
Yeah. Super, super quick. I just want to address a study that Cameron sent to me, and also someone else that I know sent to me. I'm going to use air quotes around this study.
I think I know what you're going to say.
Yeah, the one that claims people obsessed with celebrity gossip are not that smart.
I saw that and thought of you because you are like. I was going to say, I literally saw that headline and I was like, well, that can't be true because of Emily.
Yeah, Emily's.
Thank you. I feel like I'm doing a lot for the celebrity obsessed community.
Yeah, I like celebrity
First of
gossip.
all, Emily, I sent it to you without commentary. I just sent it to you as information because we share articles
Emily,
throughout
real
the day.
talk. I saw that out in the wild this week too, and I was like, and you were the first person that came to mind. It was like, anecdotally, I know this not to be true.
Okay, thank you. Rest my case. That's all I wanted to argue was that I'll be the sole proof. I mean, not that I'm the smartest person, but I can hold my own. Because like the test, I looked at how they determined, again, this quote unquote study. They had people take a 30-word vocabulary test and like a math test, basically, and then they also asked them questions about like their interest in celebrities. That just doesn't seem conclusive for me.
The higher they said they love celebrity gossip and information, the lower they probably scored on the academic side, right?
Somewhat true, yes. But okay, that's just not a good, like, just because you can't spell 30 words. Like, I want to know what the words were. Were they easy words? Were they super difficult? Like, I'll be honest, there's days I feel like all of us have to look up how to spell a word.
I'm looking at it right now. You guys spell photosynthesis. Give me a break. That's going to tell me if I'm an idiot or not. Celebrity
and I'll
gossip.
say it. I could spell it, and I can also tell you all about celebrities.
All right, that'll do it for
Slices.
Stay tuned. Up next, Chad Veach joins us. You're listening to Bad, Bad, Not Good, and Charlotte Day Wilson. The song is Leaper. Well, today's podcast is brought to you in part by Odyssey Impact. Are you a faith leader interested in social justice? Join Odyssey Impact's national social impact campaigns to download free resources and be a catalyst for change. They offer award-winning films and custom-created resources to help you plan impactful events focused on racial justice, community healing, reconciliation, and more. By raising awareness, shifting attitudes, and inspiring action, they're driving meaningful campaigns that make a real difference. Host an event in your community or house of worship. Learn more at odyssey-impact.org. Again, that's ODYSSEY-impact.org. Well, today's podcast is brought to you in part by Medical Teams International.
It's an incredible faith-inspired organization that's doing amazing work around the world. Right now, they're sending life-saving care to people affected by the conflict in Sudan. It's fallen out of the news cycle, but we have the power to remind the Sudanese people that they haven't been forgotten. You can be one of the compassionate, open-hearted people who lends a helping hand to the Sudanese. Send life-saving care to them at medicalteams.org/relevant. Again, that's medicalteams.org/relevant. Well, our guest today is Chad Veach. He's the pastor of Zoe Church in LA and the author of books like Worried About Everything Because I Pray About Nothing. We sat down with him to discuss why prayer is so important in our daily lives, how to have the right expectations for God, and how consistency changes everything. Here's our conversation. Veach.
I'm excited to talk with you about your book, Worried About Everything Because I Pray About Nothing, because I think prayer is something that sometimes we overcomplicate. So what are some really practical ways we can just start praying and make it a habit?
We want so desperately just for somebody to tell us what to do. Like, just tell me what to do and I'll do it. And I think that's the great thing about the mystery of God in a relationship, right? Like my relationship with my spouse, my kids, my friends, like it's ever evolving, it's changing, it's intimate, it's like, how do I even describe it, right? And I think the same thing with God is like, it's not about, prayer is not about me saying these right words. Like one of my favorite sayings is like, prayer changes things, mainly me. It's like prayer is like, in the whole book is like really birthed out of Philippians 4, 6, and 7, right? So it's like, be anxious for nothing, but in everything through prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be known to God and peace God, blah, blah, blah. We know the whole thing. But prayer is that thing where it's like, I'm transferred from like stress and like really concern and fear to all of a sudden I have peace, but like the problem didn't change. Like I still have the bill, or I'm still here in the hospital, or I'm still going through divorce, whatever, but now I have peace about it. Like, what is that? I think that is, for me, what I love about prayer is that like, it doesn't change the circumstance always, but it changes my perspective. It gives me the power to go through it. It gives me peace about the situation. And by the way, like I write about this in the book, but like we don't worship prayer. Like I didn't write a book so it's like we can exalt. We don't, prayer is a vehicle. It's like an Uber. So like I don't worship Uber. Uber just takes me from where I'm at to where I need to be. That's what prayer is. It brings me from my concern into comfort, or, you know, my stress, you know, into his presence. And so if I was the enemy, I would really try and get you convinced that you're not good enough to get in that vehicle, or that you don't have access, or that you're inferior, or you're too big of a sinner. You don't deserve. And I think prayer reminds me like, wow, I don't deserve any of this, but because of Jesus, I get to pray to an almighty God. And the Bible teaches me that I have full confidence before him to ask anything that I need. Like, that's just powerful. And I think that's why the enemy of our soul wants us to live in torment. I mean, we know this. He wants to steal, kill, and destroy. So he would do everything to convince you prayer's too hard, prayer's not for you, shame, guilt, condemnation, you're inferior, you're too dumb, you don't know what you're saying. If I was the enemy, I'd do everything in my power not to allow you to pray.
You know, it's interesting because I feel like sometimes in our lives, we feel like God should answer our prayer in a certain way, and then he does something totally different. So how can we change our expectations or handle the different ways that God might answer our prayer?
It always reminds me of like Elijah, right? When there's a story in the Bible when Elijah comes, you know, out of the cave, out of the mountain. God's like, watch this, and like there's an earthquake, and there's wind, and there's fire, and then there's this still small voice. And to me, it's a reminder. It's like he's not in the big stuff that we usually think he is in, but like he's in this sense. He's in this supernatural peace. That's the great thing, right? It's like he will guard our hearts beyond our natural understanding and our minds. It's like in the natural, This doesn't make sense. How could I have joy at a funeral? Or I could have peace in the midst of chaos or abuse even? It's so beyond our natural comprehension, that the way that God works. And so I think that, yeah, like he answers prayers in such interesting ways. Like to me, I just keep going back to it's the mystery of God, to try and explain him. Like we don't even have the vernacular to figure him out or the finite ability. And so he's so above. And so I think that we get to be in relationship with an almighty God that wants to hear our prayers, wants to be in relationship with us, and can answer prayers however he wants, whenever he wants. Like it's the great thing about the journey of faith, I think.
I think also what's so interesting, and you kind of mentioned this earlier, is the power of prayer, not just when it's, one person praying, but when there's hundreds or thousands of people praying. And so I would just love to know, have you ever seen, like, I'm sure you have, but any examples of like a group of people praying and then something changing? Because I think those are always really important to remember, that prayer does change lives. So I would just love to hear like a specific example if you have any.
Yeah, I write about this in the book. When I was in high school and I like really got like, all right, I'm in 16. And I came back to my high school and I started this prayer group. First day, I would go to this class. I go, we're going to eat for 15 minutes and then pray for 15 minutes. We had 30 minutes at lunch. So first day, it's like me and another buddy sneak into a classroom, start praying. Is it public schools, like a couple thousand kids. So like we start praying, right? Like a week later, it's like 5 of us. And you know the story, it's like a month later, it's like 15, 20, a couple months in, like 30 of us. Pretty soon we outgrow a classroom. Now we got to go to the choir rooms, like 40, 50. Then we got to go to the gymnasium. So it's like I would just watch my school legit, not in a church service, but like a revival sweep through my public high school. Because a bunch of kids were like, we're going to believe God for our principal and our classmates and the football team and, so on and so forth. And I just watched my kids literally get delivered from anorexia, alcoholism. And like when we started, there's like 10, 15 kids in my youth group. And like we just experienced total revival. So to me, again, going back to Bogota when I was there, it reminded me like, oh yeah, you were a part of corporate prayer when student body got together, started praying, not once a year at see you at the pole, but like every day at lunch. It wasn't like Goosebumps where it's like the story sounds really cool today, but like in the moment, it was just happening. We were just in the moment. And like now that I look back, I'm like, it really wasn't normal 15 minutes into lunch to like stand up and be like, all right, let's go. And 100 kids go to the gym to pray. And we're just, dude, I'm still listening to Tupac and like making out with my girlfriend, but God's using it. You know what I mean? Like I'm not a perfect Christian, but it's like we're willing to go to God. And so that to me is a reminder of like when God's people get together, start praying, he just starts doing stuff. It's the whole thing to me, 2 Chronicles 7:14. If my people are called by my name, will humble themselves and pray, turn from their wicked ways, repent of their sins. He says, I'll forgive their sins. I'll hear from heaven and I'll heal their land. So we want healing in our homes. We want healing in our churches. We want healing in our school system. We want healing in America, but we don't want to pray because there's nothing in our flesh that wants to pray, by the way. Even the disciples in the Garden of Gethsemane, they could not pray with our guy. Because the spirit is willing, but the flesh is so weak.
I love what you say too about, it wasn't just like one prayer that changed your school, but it was like the daily discipline of that. And I think that that's a really important part. So can you kind of go more into like why it's not just one prayer that we pray, but it is like the daily, dozens, hundreds, thousands of prayers that we pray. That's when you start to see, that's typically when you start to see a lot of transformation.
It's the compound of consistency, to be honest, right? Like anything you do consistently, you start to get better at. And I think with prayer, the thing about the compound of consistency is going like, how often do we want God to speak to us or move in us or heal us, work through us? It's like, it's really up to you. Like faith is choose your own adventure. So that could be like an everyday thing, or it could be like, hey, I'm available for you like once a week, once a month. Like, what is it for you? I think, again, the more we pray, the more we surrender, the more we have a God awareness, the more that it's like D.L. Moody once said, when I stopped praying, coincidences stopped happening. And it's like when you're praying, it's like all of a sudden, it's like, wow, wow, it's divine appointment. It's like, wow, God used that. Wow, God put me in their space. Wow, God showed me that. God gave me that word. So it's like, how God aware do you want to live? And I think it needs to be a daily thing. We really need it every day, because I always think about Jeremiah. Like Jeremiah says, above all else, the heart is wicked. Like, I don't care what anybody says. We're all wicked. The more I pray, the more I get the wickedness out of me today. And I start going, okay, I'm not the big deal. Let's die to ego. Let's live for God. Let's be aware of others. Let's have the gospel of peace on our feet today. Let's have the mind of Christ and the heart of God. If I don't pray, I don't have that mindset. So that's why it needs to be a daily thing.
That was Chad Veach. Make sure to check out his book, Worried About Everything Because I Pray About Nothing. Stay tuned. Up next, it's Sign of the Times.
Oh God, I've been me. Every word is a symphony. But you believe in me. What has happened? Give me a say it makes me wait to rap by always wanting to be. To dream in the wind, but carry me. So that I will be free.
You're listening to Benny Sings. The song is Sailing. Obviously, the famous Christopher Cross Sailing. Nice little indie remix of it. Well, today's podcast is brought to you in part by Tyndale Publishers' new book, Trailblazers. We all want our lives to count for something. We desperately want to know if we matter, what our purpose is, and if it's okay to chase a dream bigger than ourselves. In his new book, Trailblazers, Pastor Micah E. Davis shares how a life built on a solid foundation of faith can lead us to blaze a new trail, a unique one God has purposed for us. Grab a copy of Trailblazers at your favorite book retailer today. Okay, it is time for our game. It's called Sign of the Times. It's fall, officially fall. This is the time that a lot of church signs get especially punny. Like, you know, the good old Baptist churches, they try to be especially punny. And what we want to do here, Emily put this game together. So she's going to keep score with the help of Johnson & Johnson accounting firm auditing her results.
I'm going to prove my intelligence right now.
Okay. So what we're going to do is it's Marty versus Jesse. I'm going to tell you a slogan. You're going to tell me, is this a slogan that actually really appeared on a church sign and we have photo proof of it? Or is this something that AI wrote?
Oh.
So she went over to ChatGPT, the paid tier, ChatGPT 4, threw this in the mix. So is this an AI attempt at a punny fall church sign, or is this an actual church sign? All right.
Is this game called God Answers an Email?
It's called a Sign of the Times. That's what we're calling it. Okay, Jesse, you're up first. Our church is haunted. We have a ghost. His name is Holy. Boo. Is that real or AI?
Wow. The boo makes me think it's AI. You had me to the boo.
It's a real church sign. They put his name is Holy, exclamation point, boo, exclamation point. Yeah. All right, Marty, are you following, like fall -o-ween? Are you following Jesus?
Yeah, that's real. I've seen that. I've seen that for
real.
sure.
That is real. For sure. Okay, are you following Jesus? All right, Jesse.
Yeah.
Don't be a ghost visitor. Join us this Sunday. Don't be a ghost
That has
visitor.
to be AI. That has to be.
It is AI.
Okay.
That is AI. Correct. All right. Here we go. Marty, heaven is no trick. Hell is no treat.
That's real. That has to be real for sure.
That is real.
I know Christian. I know Christian comedy.
Real Baptist.
I know Mark Lowry. Come on, guys.
All right. All right. Emily, after 2 rounds, what's the score?
Okay, according to my super scientific calculation, Marty has 2, Jesse has 1.
Bob from Johnston and Murphy is off camera. He is
giving us a thumbs up.
Thumbs up. Yes.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you.
Yep. All right, Jesse, witching you, with a hyphen, witching you a happy Sunday.
AI.
Correct.
That's.
All right, Marty.
No Baptist would even joke about witches.
Yeah, you hit on the head.
Correct. Yeah. Gourd, like a
It's AI. It's
gorge
AI.
yourself on God's love.
It's AI.
Gorge
It's
yourself
AI.
on God's love is AI. That's
As soon as
correct.
I
Gave
heard
it
the
away.
gourd, that. Okay,
It's
I'm
too
not
much
going
of
to
a
give the
stretch.
specifics here, but that word is not a word that Baptist people are using.
People will be driving by the church. Huh?
Okay, Baptists are taking a lot of shots today.
Well, I just know that they're not going to use the word
fine.
gourd.
That's fine. They're not listening.
Yeah,
They don't have
They stopped
computers.
listening
I'm just
years
kidding.
ago.
We can make fun of the Amish and the Baptists
Yeah.
on this show.
Listen,
The
we
Amish
make
if
fun
one
of
thing
the
I know from
podcast.
Baptists in my life is they love being persecuted online. They love it. That's all they tweet about. That's all they talk about. This is what they want. We're giving them what they want. Online persecution. Trust
All
me,
right.
this is exactly what they want.
Jesse, witches welcome, repentance required.
I'll take real. I'll take real.
Whoa.
AI.
Well, like I
that
said,
would've
they
been real,
don't joke
too.
about witches.
You're right.
Witches
Yeah.
and witchcraft are not joking matters. I should have gone with my
no
gut.
joke. No joke. Yeah. All right, Marty, try our new pumpkin spiced sermons.
I mean, I think that's AI because if it's real, it's not good at all. Oh,
It is
my
real.
God.
It is there was a very
You're
proud
like, that's the
Baptist
church that
lady,
Kat Vaughn got baptized in, actually, so don't disrespect it.
Church secretary thought she was so timely
Yeah.
with the pumpkin
Yeah.
spice. She was very proud of that. All right, Jesse, Jesus, the original zombie. He's alive.
It's a good one.
Oh,
a good one.
man.
That's a good one.
I hope that's AI and not a real church.
It is AI.
They got a
That's a good one,
visit
though.
from the deacon. The local, like, all
That's a
right,
good one,
all
though.
right, guys.
it should be a real one. If anyone's listening,
Yeah, that's a
jot
good one.
that
I like
down.
that one.
All right, Marty, this church is like a Snickers, sweet with a few nuts.
That's real. That has to be real.
That is real.
Yeah.
That is definitely real.
Because
Yeah.
AI doesn't get specific like that, where they start talking about. It's always surface level. You also have to understand how AI works.
They do puns, a lot of witch puns apparently so far. All right, Jesse, here we go. Being Christian means not hating. We know it takes football season hard.
Ooh.
Being Christian means not hating.
Wow.
We know, it makes football season hard.
Wow. Jesse.
That seems a little overbaked, but I'm going to say it's a church.
That is real. That is correct. Marty, witches brewed the potions. We brew the coffee.
That is AI 100. I'm going to go with Jesse's
is
theory.
AI.
Jesse's
AI
theory
loves
is the
witches.
witch. He's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is off
All right,
limits,
Jesse,
yeah.
we got to hurry. Jesse, zombies welcome. We're all about resurrections.
Oh, that's real. That's got
That's
to be real.
real. Has to be.
That's AI.
Pretty good.
AI.
Pretty good.
Good thing you got that.
That's a
not
good
me.
one.
Good.
Yeah.
All right, Marty, don't be scared to come inside.
Ugh. Pause. I'm just hopefully that I don't know. That feels real, to be honest with you. But I just don't like the whole overall feeling of that statement.
It is real.
Yeah.
That is real.
Because the worst part about it is right by me. There's an adult club that has the same thing. I'm sorry.
Oh, no.
We're gonna cut
Don't
that
be
out.
scared to come inside.
We'll cut that out.
No, I won't. It's not your fault that you live by a strip
I
club.
live in California. I live in Sinner's Paradise. What can I say?
All right, Emily, what's the score update?
Marty has 6. Jesse has 4.
All right, Jesse, join us for a spooktacular service. Spooktacular.
That's real.
So these aren't
That's
really
real.
fall. These are more
That's real.
Halloween.
I'll take real.
That is real. A spooktacular.
Yeah.
Why would you want to go to church as a
Yeah,
spooktacular
they're not
service?
even
Trick or
trying to
treat.
phone that in. Yeah.
All right, Marty, believe in Christ and boo defy your life.
That's AI. Has to be. Has to be AI.
That is AI.
It has to be.
Man, you know it.
It's
You know AI.
outrageous.
All right, Jesse, spiritual Ghostbusters, we cleanse your soul.
That's AI.
That is AI.
Okay,
Correct.
good.
All right, Marty, even the wicked are welcome here.
That's good. That's a church. I hope that's a church. That's cool.
That is real.
Come inside
Correct.
the
Yeah, you guys
church.
are killing
We
it.
got a message for you.
This is our last round. Emily, what's the score?
Jesse has 6. Marty has 8.
Okay,
For all
the
the
last
marbles.
one. 3 points. Anybody's game.
For all
Here
the
it
pumpkin
is.
Spice.
Jesse, Ghoul News, church is in session.
Real.
AI!
That's AI, 100%.
That is AI!
I knew that. I smelled it a mile away.
By the way, your column interviewing the ghosts, Ghoul News. That's
Wow,
her show.
that's good.
hey,
Yeah.
Cam.
Thoroughly
All right.
ghoul.
All right, just for kicks, Marty, finding faith is easier than finding ghosts. Finding faith
seems
is
like
easier
AI.
than finding ghosts. That's real.
That's real.
A real church put that.
That's kind of cool. Vu Church did that? I'm just kidding. Vu Church? My church?
She did give me a tiebreaker that we don't need. A tiebreaker we don't need. Fall for Jesus. He's the ultimate treat.
No, that's real. That's real.
That's AI. AI out there winning people to the Lord.
Man, good thing I didn't.
Anyway,
I already won.
That'll do it for A Sign of the Times. Congrats to Marty. All right, before we wrap things up, I want to thank Chad Veach for joining us today. Make sure to check out his book on prayer. I like how he made it more, I don't know, personal and less transactional. That's good. Go read it. Also, a few updates. Make sure to check out relevantmagazine.com every weekday, where we are covering the intersection of faith, culture, and everything in between. Follow us on all the socials. Sign up for our newsletter to get our best top 5 trending stories sent to your inbox every weekday morning. And I'm chomping at the bit to tell you about all the stuff that's in motion. I've been kind of priming it. Just stay tuned. Make sure you're following us. We've got some fun stuff coming out to wrap up the year. All right. On that note, we'll wrap this show up. I'm Cameron Strang.
I'm Jesse Carey.
I'm Emily Brown.
I'm Marty.
All right. We will see you on Tuesday, or we'll see you on Friday. Have a great week, everyone.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the Relevant Podcast. Check out our features, interviews, and news updates every day at relevantmagazine.com. And make sure to follow Relevant on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for the latest. For more great podcasts, browse the shows on the Relevant Podcast Network, which you can find at our site. And while you're there, don't miss the all-new era of Relevant Magazine. A new issue releases every other month at relevantmagazine.com.
It doesn't matter. They can't find me. There's thousands of houses in this neighborhood.
Relevant Podcast Network.